Hey everyone, it's me. I have not been live for quite some time. Oh my goodness. It's just been a crazy long haul with me in my world. I'm supposed to be doing this 31 days of tarot prompt, and I'm supposed to be doing 5 days 15 through whatever I could get done, basically. So I got some of my prompts here on my phone, so I'm hoping that I could do some 31 days of tarot. And uh, more importantly, I actually wanted to catch up with everybody. Hold on. I think my voice is not being heard so well. Usually does the trick. About these kind of things before I start going live, but I never do. uh, so yeah, life has been crazy on my end. The reason why I'm all behind my 31 days of tarot. Hey, everybody could hear me now. Hey, I got 2 seconds, but I wanted to jump in and say hello. Hey, Patrick. That's fine. I actually kind of didn't expect to go live tonight, believe it or not, everyone. I really didn't plan to do a live chat. I really was just kind of wanting to jump on to catch up on my 31 days of tarot because I'm behind again on my 31 days of tarot. And I'm probably just going to go ahead and do days like 15 through whatever I have on here, on this prompt here. So I'm going to try to knock out as many as I can, try to answer some questions along the way. But it's just been a long road with me dealing with my daughter in the hospital. It was really bad this time around. I don't know how to talk to you guys about that. It's just been really, really hard, and things just went really south really quickly when she was just only supposed to have like this routine procedure done. So it, hey, Creative Coffee, how we doing? So yeah, I'm just jumping on and wanting to get back into the game again for doing 31 days of tarot, basically, or whatever it's called. I don't even know what the hashtag is called anymore. It's been so long. Uh, so so yeah, it was really bad with Judith. It's just things got really bad really quickly, and I'll talk about it more at the end of this. Try to talk about it more after the end of this video. Yeah, the 31 days of tarot. Do you have any? Day 15 is. Do you have a deck for personal use only? Why or why not? I have many decks that are personal use decks that I don't read with clients and stuff. And a lot of them are my dirty decks. My dirty decks are not really ones that I read with clients. However, I did get an epiphany or a grand spark of an idea that it might be a calling or something like that, or do some yeah, dirty decks. My little dirty decks are my personal use decks, and I guess you could have like the girls' night out parties, or so, there are like therapy, sexual therapy sessions you could do with tarot and stuff like that. But I just not at a place to give kind of advice. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my dirty decks, but they kind of are personal use decks. But I don't mind talking about them as a tarot deck on YouTube. It seems I do walkthroughs and stuff with them all the same because not many. Yeah, I must get a dirty deck. Um, I don't mind doing walkthroughs and stuff like that on YouTube as long as they have like an 18-year-old or rating or flag on it or whatever, or even just a warning in the video. Because I don't find when I'm shopping for decks, I like to see a deck review or a deck flip through or a deck walkthrough, and a lot of those dirty decks don't really have any reviews, walkthroughs, or flip throughs because you don't want to get something that is going to go against your moral compass sexually speaking. So that I do find that it's a public service to do deck reviews and walkthroughs sometimes. And 16 is do you reversals? Day 16 is do you read reversals? Why or why not? And day 16 is very interesting as far as reading reversals go, because when I first started to learn tarot, I actually read reversals. I mixed them all upside down, the right side up, and the whole kick and caboodle, and I read reversals. So when I first started reading tarot, but as I got more experience with tarot, I stopped reading reversals that way and started reading tarot more intuitively. And I still get reversals. It's not like I don't get have. Eh, it's not like I have completely got rid of reversals. I just change it into something else. I get intuitive hits on what the reversals really, what I feel like is a reversal or not, and when I get a reading, like context of a reading. Sometimes I get intuitive hits like, oh my goodness, this is not a reversal or whatever. So it just depends on the reading, context, and the whole 9 yards. And the next question is draw, paint, sketch your favorite tarot card. Talk a little bit about this card while you're drawing. I saw what was the Cape Cod Creatures grainy Three of Swords painting, Bob Ross painting spoof. That was so funny. I needed that laugh. I don't laugh very often right now, but that was like one that I am like, oh god, that's so funny. I actually got some things collected from the J Shadows Tarot and stuff that I was gonna collectively do something for our day 17. You know, the draw, paint, and favorite tarot card. Talk about a little bit about this card and when you're drawing it or whatever. And uh, I'm not going to do this prompt right here, right now, but I do have a few things to talk about and show about the J Shadow Tarot and the progress of that deck, which is still at a standstill, but at least I am working on, baby steps on making it go forward and making it more of a reality. So that's something I am going to reveal in a later time. So, day 18, share one of the new things you learned about tarot in the last year. It's actually very interesting because tarot has taught me so much about grief. Or doing grief work, and I never thought about using tarot for grief work before everything went down with Judith, or goes down with Judith. And so it's very interesting. Hi, Greenhill. So grief work has definitely been something that I was learning about in this past year, or the few years that I've been doing tarot, uh, that it's okay to use tarot for grief work, and using tarot as just a way like a comfort deck or that comfort thing going on. And so it's very, very, very interesting, and it has been very, very rewarding using it for grief work. Hi, hey, Gentle Fire Divine. How's it going? So yeah, that's the one thing I've learned about tarot. I guess I could share with everybody. Um, Share which deck out there gives you the heebie-jeebies. I'm guessing that it's like the ooh. Believe it or not, this is gonna be funny. I backed this tarot deck on Kickstarter. Shame on me. I said I was not going to buy any tarot decks this year, and here I am back in a heebity jeebity deck on Kickstarter. And it was I'll have it right here. It's the Tarot Restless. It's the Tarot Restless by Winslow Domain, or the Winslow Domain deck, and I backed this one on Kickstarter. It was like, I had to, and it's so creepy. I don't know if you could see this in the camera or not, but it's creepy. The artwork's creepy. I like it. And there's some things about this deck that gives me the hibbity jibbities that I'm like, but I still backed it. I'm so happy. No regrets. Hashtag no regrets. And so that's, I guess, a good answer to that one. So, okay. Get my prompts back up again. And share one tarot myth you believed and why you stopped believing in it. Okay. And that is for day 20. One tarot myth that I believed in, and yeah, that's the one, Green Owl. The Tarot Restless is the answer to the heebity jeebity ones, and prompts number 19. And number 20 is share one tarot myth you believed in and why you stopped believing it. And so I'm sorry, everyone. I should have been more clear on which one it was. And I backed it on Kickstarter, so I'll do a walkthrough of that deck, or hopefully a unboxing here in a little bit. Sorry about that. And so, okay, 2020. Share one tarot myth you believe and why you stopped believing it. Which one is a very good myth? The window card and the OMG is too far. Yeah, that's for sure. Um, I'm trying to think of a tarot myth that I believed in and that I'm like, I would say that the one myth that for a while there I thought that the transfer of energy in a tarot deck it means nothing. I would have said that would have been my myth that I don't believe in anymore because of the transfer of energy from owner to a deck owner and stuff like to another deck owner, like a trade or something like that. And so it's kind of interesting because I would have said that would have been a complete myth. And here I am having a housing box for a tarot deck that I can't use because it's housing a heebity jeebity deck, or a deck that has something attached to it, and I'm not sure what that thing is that it's attached to it. But it does need more cleansing, and it does need some more ritualistic clearings of that deck, and I don't know how else to fix it, deal with it until this Judith stuff is all done and over with, and I've said it before on my channel. So I would have said that was a tarot myth, the transfer of energy and stuff from a tarot deck to, that it stays in a tarot deck after using it and handling it. But I never really did stop believing in that. I never did the tarot under the pillow thing. I never got into that, so I can't say that. I think crystals do something for tarot decks if you lay crystals on top of tarot decks. So I'm very superstitious, I guess, and I believe in all. I believe in all. I'm very superstitious. Oh my goodness. And so, 21. Share some of your favorite deck storage. Where you must be given a deck in order to read. I never believed in that one, but that one is a good one, actually. I've heard of that one before, and if that was the case, I would never get another tarot deck ever again because my husband and my family believes in that I have too many decks. So, yeah. I don't agree with that one either. But I've heard that one. It would be not good if that was true and that was what I believed in. All right, but yeah, some of my favorite deck storage. Believe it or not, if you guys follow me long enough, which most of you two have, you would know that a lot of my I would have saved so much money too, right? But this is kind of what my deck storage looks like for the most part. It's I since you two have followed my channel quite for some time, most of my deck storage has to do with the downstairs pile, which is my main working area for all my tarot decks and stuff, and then there's an upstairs pile where it has all my the rest of my collection and stuff like that. So right now I'm in my downstairs pile, which is right here on my coffee table, where is my like main, it's my little home to myself, my little corner in the world, it seems. I have I just got this as Judith was going through the crap in the hospital, which is the wisdom uh, of the Oracle with Colette Baron. The Curious Oracle, I got the Rebel deck. I got the Ellis Tarot, Orbifold, my tarot deck, or at least the samples of my tarot deck. And actually, something that came down from the depths upstairs is my Sassy Burrito came down. And I also have been working with proactively the Modern Spellcasters Tarot that I got after my husband left for business trip. So my husband's on a business trip, and one of the gifts that he got me was the Modern Spellcasters Tarot, and I actually really enjoyed this deck. And I'll talk more about it on a later date too. Oh, Hermes playing cards! Don't forget about that. Yes, the modern is awesome sauce. I don't know why nobody seems to have this beef with the modern spellcasters tarot. I think it has to do with that they switched the wands and the swords around. But honestly, when I work with this deck, I don't that the air and the fire switch, it doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would, believe it or not. And I really love the art of the modern spellcasters. It's very pagan. And I really like the swords as far as the winter theme goes, because they do have swords, but they have it more winter theme. Just need an added fit suit for the swords. Yes. Yes, I agree. And I actually like it because it's very they were very conscious about the multiracial. They were very conscious about LGBTQ community. They were very conscious about body types too, and different people and things like that. Yes, it's a very pagan-y themed deck, but I feel like that they're very conscious about some of the things, and it does beautiful readings. I've already did several readings for myself through all this heartache and grief that I've been going through, and it does beautiful readings, and I love it. And the only thing I regret about this deck, and it's not a big regret either, is I kind of wish that my guidebook was a little bit more meaty on the symbolisms and stuff on this deck. I really would have loved to dive deep in the symbolisms a little bit better than just kind of superficially. I think the guidebook was still a little rider weight superficial. But that's my only complaint. The only complaint. Oh my goodness. And if that is the only complaint, then that's not too bad. And then share the card that was the hardest for you to get when you were first learning the tarot. How do you feel about the card now? Okay, this is day 22. What is the hardest card for me to learn, and how do you feel about the card now? Okay. It's actually kind of an interesting one because if you guys follow me, I guess I have talked about it randomly here and there, but I don't know how dedicated of a topic I made it, but I have talked about in passing several times that for me personally, believe it or not, some of those major arcanas and some of those, not really the sword suits or the minor arcanas, but the majors in particular, they're supposed to represent individual things and individual concepts and ideals. However, I find even when I'm painting the J Shadows Tarot or even just, being experienced, consider myself an experienced reader by this point. I've been reading for over 10 years. This year would be year 10 for me because 2018, and I picked up my first tarot deck at 2008. So this is 10 years, my 10-year mark. Yikes. I've been reading for tarot for 10 years, and I still have some hiccups with cards, believe it or not. And it's 10 years of reading cards and stuff. And probably only 4 years of really proactively learning the tarot and collecting tarot. That's what I would say. 4 years of really collecting and learning tarot, and 10 years since I've been reading. So some of the cards that I have a problem with are like some of those close knit cards, like the Hierophant and the Empress, not Empress, but the High Priestess. I see it right up here. I'm looking at the J Shadows Tarot going, the Hierophant and the Empress, they're kind of like brother, sister cards to each other in a way. The High Priestess is kind of like that feminine knowledge, that feminine, whatever, the ascended, that feminine energy, where the Hierophant is, I think, a little bit more masculine energy. And then you've got the High Priestess and the Empress card, which are kind of very similar in meaning too, but for different reasons too. And then you've got like the Hangman and almost the Hermit card for me can be almost interchangeable because the Hermit card is kind of like that self reflection. You're kind of bringing into yourself willingly for soul time and reflection time, whereas the Hangman is more like the forced, inflicted reflection time. And then of course, you get Judgment in there, and the Death card is kind of similar, and because death is, and also the universe or the world card is also kind of ties into it too. Is all about rebirth and renewal and reawakening of the souls. So the answer to that prompt, to answer that prompt, kind of straightforward is kind of hard because I'd say I'm pretty experienced, but there are some intuitive hiccups that I do get every now and then because some of the cards are so similar sometimes that it has been a challenge for a tarot reading to decipher them, but it's been harder when you still have some of these hiccups years and years later when you're making your own tarot deck, because you still gotta capture the integrity of these meanings and stuff. I'm not saying that I don't know what death means versus this card or that card, but I'm just saying that some of those learning curves when I was first learning tarot, I still feel some of those hiccups there, and it's been 10 years. All right. Share a tarot deck that you just had to break up with. It no longer resonates with you. Okay. I have a few tarots that I had to break up with. That just doesn't resonate with me. um, One infamous one, or two infamous ones, I'm going to bring up here and for this prompt for number uh, 23 is the Hidden Realms Tarot. The I know I'm gonna when I say the Hidden Realms tarot, everybody's gonna go, "Oh, the scandal, the tarot of the Hidden Realms. It has to be a tarot deck for everybody." I think even Kelly from Truth and Story, when I said I traded the Hidden Realms tarot, she was like, "Ugh, the scandal! Oh no, the tarot of the Hidden Realms. You can't get rid of that one." And it's actually hilarious because I'm really looking at the Tarot of the Hidden Realms of in bookstores too. I go to not Michael's, but I of course I go to Michael's often because it's my art store. But I go to Barnes and Nobles and Books a Million often enough to buy on their tarot deck collections and see what I could. Yeah, me too. It's hilarious because I go to the bookstores and stuff like that, and I see the Tarot of the Hidden Realms sitting there on the shelf, and I go, I really want to reconnect. It's kind of like that. I still feel like that draw, like I should connect with it because I really like the art in it. I really do love the art in the Tarot of the Hidden Realms. Don't get me wrong. The art in it is like, ah, magnifique. I love the art in the Tarot of the Hidden Realms. Just working with it as a tarot deck, I'm like, how could I? I just don't resonate with it. I just had to break up with it. And it was a good thing that I did break up with it because believe it or not, Aubrey from Witch's Bone, she has my Hidden Realms tarot. And that's one of her all time favorite decks. It was something that I traded with her was the Tarot of the Hidden Realms, and she brags about it all the time on Instagram. And if you don't know Aubrey from Witch's Bone, she does the Witch's Bone tarot and all that good shenanigans, and she's coming out with an oracle deck. Advertisement. But yeah, so yeah, Aubrey is a really great girl in our tarot community, and she has my Tarot of the Hidden Realms that I traded with her with, and she says it's her all time favorite deck. So there you go. Oh, and then the second deck that I had was the Shadowscapes Tarot, and I did the Love It Trade It Tarot hashtag way. See, why don't we connect with it? I don't know. I don't know. Gentle Fire Divine. I don't know. And then when I was doing the hashtag Love It Trade It Tarot for in May, I believe I was doing May or April, what maybe even March. I don't even remember when I did the Love It Trade It Tarot hashtag. But I did the Love It Trade It Tarot hashtag on Instagram and hosted that my first Instagram challenge, and I did the chose the Shadowscapes tarot to work with, like as a daily draw and a daily prompt to work with. And I have to say that it really was a really good experience to work with a deck that hard month. Of course I wasn't exclusively working with that deck, but it was really good to work with just that deck within that month and discipline yourself to see if it was a deck that you wanted to keep in your collection or not. And even by the time the month was over, I still was tossing back and forth, going, "Oh, I don't know if I want to trade it or not. I don't know if I want to get rid of it. I don't know if I love it or hate it." And I might give that deck back. I might eventually reclaim that one back in my collection. I don't know. I might get the check one or whatever because of the bigger cards or whatever. But that was one deck that I was having a hard time connecting with because the artwork is so beautiful, but the cards are so busy, and I just cannot do it. I love Shadowscape's artwork. It's another deck that I think the artwork in it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I love the King of Swords. I think that is my all-time favorite card in that deck is the King of Swords and is a beautiful angel with some of those just kind of that beautiful soulfulness to him. I like him. But I think the rest of the deck and I do like some of the other cards as well. Don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite art decks of all time. I just can't read with it as far as tarot deck. And so my next day is day 24. If you had to design a 79th tarot card that everyone would use, what would it look like? What would it represent? Oh, no, they have to do this one to me. I'm making a Jay Shadows tarot, and of course, there might be a 79th card. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Uh, although, okay, to answer this one, I will try to say it. I'm not gonna tell you. um, I I won't spoil anything because, but I what I've seen in other decks is the strawberry card, which is from the Prisma Visions first edition. And I think the second edition was innovation or something like that. I forgot. It was something or introspection. I forgot what the 79th card was in the Vision Prisma Visions tarot, but he had a very pretty 79th card. And but I liked the strawberries though in my first edition, and I brag about it often. I'm like, "Yay, I like the strawberries." So and I actually do. So yeah, the Prisma Visions tarot, I really enjoy the strawberries, meaning harvest. I kind of actually do. Uh, I keep it in that deck and kind of do a reaping, like that reaping the harvest and bring it into fruitfulness. So it kind of frees up in a way, it kind of frees up the Empress card to be more feminine or that divine feminine, whereas that one is a little bit more harvest, reaping up and gathering up. And so, what other good ones I've seen that I have in as a extra card? I have the Pagan Underworlds, and that one has the Seeker card. I haven't been called to been using the Pagan Otherworlds lately, and I think that one's just a beautiful deck. The Seeker card and the Pagan Otherworlds is like absolutely divine. Um, some of my other favorites is like from the Hidden Waters Tarot. Anna did several um, extra cards, the majors or whatever, extra cards in that deck, and I have the second edition, and it was like um, the divine masculine and divine feminine. I think she has, or uh, something like that. It was something like the divine masculine or the divine feminine spirit or something like that. I forgot what exactly it was. It was one of those. And then I'm trying to go through the list in my head too, and it's not working. But yeah, as far as the J Shadows Tarot goes, I might make an extra 79th card. Why not? Kind of stuff. But oh yeah, the Fountain Tower has one, and it's the Infinity Knot, and it has the Infinity Fountain too. I know there's many more, but I just cannot think of any on the top of my head right now. My head is like so I can't really think of all of them on the top of my head, and so oh no, the 25th question is blasphemous. No. The was it the love it not the love it treated. It's the whatever's. It's the 31 days of tarot. I don't know what it is anymore. I don't know. I don't know. What is the right answer? I don't know the right answer. Levitated tarot. Uh, whatever. I don't even know what hashtag we're doing anymore. I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to see if I could pull up the 31 days of tarot prompts. 30. Don't want. Hmm. I know she has it on her site. Maybe could just jump on her site. Hmm. Do you use the extra bonus cards in the extra decks? Yeah, I try to use the extra bonus cards every time that I um oh. I try to use the extra bonus cards every time that I can on in all the decks. I'm trying to flip through to see if I could pull up the the prompts for 31 Days of Tarot. I know she would have it on her page. And I don't. You kind of forget how many times people post stuff on their um, Facebook or Instagram and stuff. And I am guilty as charged. I post a lot of things on my Facebook and Instagrams and stuff like that. And I read other people's posts on Instagrams and all that stuff too. So it's kind of funny that you don't realize how much stuff that we do post until we have to go through and try to find something. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. All right. Well, it's it it does get a lot of mixed in. Uh, I guess I'll be done with 31 Days of Tarot. um, for now, and just to kind of talk to you guys as a live chat thing. I didn't realize that there was going to be a lot of people on live chat at 9 o'clock at night, but I guess there is. I know. Mm, I know that Kelly from Truth and Story. No. It's okay. It's okay. Gentle Fire Divine. My brain is scattered brain because this is my first day. Really, this is Wednesday. This is my first day coming back to reality a little bit. Actually, second day of coming back into reality. This whole weekend, last Wednesday, my daughter, um, speaking of life dramas and stuff like that, my daughter last Wednesday, was supposed to just go in for a routine not routine stoma revision, but she was supposed to get her stoma revised because they were saying when we visited the Boston trip for her that her stoma was too tight, and that the reason why she was getting bloated and all that stuff and getting some things caught up in her was because her stuff was too tight and it was not letting things go through. Uh, it was not letting things go through, and so we took her in last week, and then last Thursday she got her revision done, and she seemed to be in the hospital bed, happy as go lucky as could be. She was being her cute little Judith self, almost acting normal, and then the next thing we know, she had a very, very bad, what's called a prolapse stoma, and I'm not going to go into the gory details, but it was bad. It was a really bad moment, and I felt like I had to be there for her, standing shoulder to shoulder with these doctors and stuff, and helping Judith go through, breathe through this situation. It was really bad, and trying to get her grounded again and stuff, and she had to go back in for an emergency surgery to get that prolapse fixed for her. And so the anesthesia, having surgery 2 times that day, really messed things up. And also, a lot of things got messed up too because of that incident happening. And so she's got an infection because of all that the exposure. I'm just going to leave it as that. She had a lot of exposure to the elements. And she's just had the roughest weekend of her life this past weekend, and so uh, she was bouncing back and forth from ICU to the ICU and some of the more and just a watch, watching there's a like in between or the ICU and the just the regular hospital beds, where they watch your heart rate and stuff a little bit more closely and stuff like that. So she had a pretty bad whammy this past weekend, and she's starting to bounce back from all of it. And so she's finally just coming back from all this, and I'm just starting to have, some sort of clarity, like that mental clarity again. I'm starting to be a human being again. I don't know where I want to sleep tonight because, speaking of Judith having, in the middle of Judith having this hard time, I was sleeping here a few nights and I had a spook in the house. And I think it has to do with her. And there were some strange sounds coming in the house and all that stuff. Like, I was hearing babies crying and, well, more specifically Judith and um, things of that nature. So there were some spooks in the house too. And I'm just trying to deflect all that negativity. And it's kind of hard. It's been a long, long, long haul with Judith, and I been trying to work on my J Shadows tarot in the middle of all that too. Believe it or not, I uh, don't know what it all cosmically means, with all this stuff, and I been working on my J Shadows tarot as far as trying to work on the photo editing. Like have Photoshop on my pad and stuff like that, and I actually got a sketch app on my pad or a digital drawing app on my pad, and I'm actually going back into my tarot cards digitally and touching up some of that canvas and touching some of those cards so that it looks very flawless and all that stuff. So we're going to see how they all look and turn out. So I'm really hoping that some of these so these cards are gonna really really pop in a cool way, and they will look very finished looking. Oh yes, some shield up for sure. I need to deflect some of those negative. I hope it's nothing negative coming in, because that would have been bad. I don't like negative energy, and I'm very sensitive to it. And so yeah, the it's been a very interesting experience with the Judith stuff and dealing with this stuff going on. And so I'm just really hoping that things settle down and get back to some sort of normalcy again. I don't know what normal looks like anymore. But yeah, so some of those things have been going on, and that's why I've been away. I've been making, so it's not like I was trying to ignore my tarot community and trying to ignore everybody and stuff. And I'm happy to see all of you too. And I do feel, I do miss you all, and I just miss doing these live chats with you and getting to talk to you guys and stuff. Because I even was having some big plans for this new year. Like saying, you know what, this year my goal is to be more proactive on YouTube and doing my YouTube chats and doing more J Shadows and getting that all figured out and all that stuff. So I was really hoping that a lot of these some of these New Year resolutions were going to come on through, and the holidays just kind of away and don't need any more holidays. Who needs holidays? So those are the kind of things that I've been doing. And I've been trying to read John Benjamin's book, but it's kind of like I've been interrupted every 5 minutes with something. There's always something. When to read Tom Benjamin's book is not too hard to ask. There's always something. But I kind of been trying to read it on and off too. I've been really arting hard, and I think if you guys saw some of my Instagram stuff, you'll see some of it, and I'll show you some of my arting. I've been playing with gouache lately, and it's been very therapeutic. And so I've been working with a lot of gouache lately, and this is one of my gouache pieces that if you guys seen it on uh, not Facebook and Instagram. I think I have them both on Instagram and Facebook. So I've been arting hard, and so I've been gouaching watercolors, um, trying to acrylic a little bit, and I've been trying to do some more uh, eye work. Just trying to do focus on doing some things. And actually, I did some. uh, Thank you, Green Owl. And then I also been looking at my orchids over here, and so okay, the first picture I have, um, uh, I'm also writing a story too, and this story has been going on for years, and this is actually a character from my story, and the and I think this painting actually says it all. He's very deformed, or he's kind of deformed and messed up because he got defeated a lot in battle, and he was just kind of disheveled because of his experience in war and all that stuff. So he's just kind of has that long, and then he also has a lot of internal conflicts and stuff like that. And I feel connected with his internal conflicts with his longing and his desire of wishing things were better for himself or wishing his situation was better. And so I think I captured that. It was very pretty. This one's one of my favorites too. And of course, this one is just kind of a study, which is the eye one. And then I also want my orchids to bloom, so I've been trying to do some spell work and trying to say, manifest some orchids in my life. I want some orchids. So yeah, I got my orchids here, which they need to be watered. They're looking a little sad right now, and they're trying to tell them to manifest themselves. And so also I've been trying to work on landscapes and stuff. This one's not finished yet. And then this one also is so beautiful. This one is so beautiful. This one is one of my favorites. This one is the hands braiding hair, and I saw this actually picture on in Pinterest. I saw this. There's a reference photo on Pinterest, and she's just had these beautiful old wrinkly hands and braiding her old hair, and I just thought it was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. And so it turned out so great, and it turned very graphic looking and a very graphic art. And then I have some of that here. And this is not done yet, but I'm trying to do some lips and mouth and nose, because that's one of the things that I'm not very good at is lips, mouth, and the nose. Lips, mouth, and the nose. I'm not so good at the lips, mouth, and the nose. And so this is watercolor, but I'm going to probably go on top of it with gouache and trying to make the details a little bit more, pronounce the details of the lips and the mouth and the nose. And that one's this sketchbook. And then my other sketchbook. And I've been really loving gouache too, because gouache, I'll talk more about gouache too. Gouache is kind of like one of those mediums that it's kind of like watercolor. You could do it on the go, and it dries very quickly. And this is actually, this guy looks familiar. I was trying to gouache one of my tarot cards and see how it would look in gouache. And so this is the full card, and he's not quite done yet in gouache. And so what I did is I actually took my pad and did some digital art, and I got sketched it out on my pad, printed it out on watercolor paper, and then I am going back it over all my printing and stuff, printer paper, printing lines and stuff, and doing this in the gouache. So yeah. And then some of I did some landscapes. Yeah, this is my first attempt of doing a gouache painting. I didn't post this one on Instagram. I don't know why I didn't post this one on Instagram. But this one was one that I was practicing with, and this was my first gouache painting, and it's a landscape. And I haven't shown this one yet on Instagram. Oh, and this one I haven't shown or revealed to anybody yet. But this one is kind of like a gouache of my hermit card, and I think you guys are gonna like it. What do you think? My hermit card in gouache. There's my hermit card, and I am thinking about doing my actual hermit card with the lotus flowers, actually, and uh, touching him up a little bit more to have lotus flowers and maybe a little bit more symbology like that. Hey, Theod! I think I am getting your name butchered again every single time. And this is a gouache hermit card, so I think you could see it in the light better like this. So I kind of washed the hermit card and giving him some lotus flowers and stuff to symbolize the third eye. And I wanted to, and this was going to be my grand reveal for the Jay Shadows Tarot, actually, because I wanted to see how you guys like the gouache paintings and stuff. And I'm not going to repaint all of what I've done up here, all my tarot cards and my acrylic canvas, but this might be some of those extra cards, bonus cards that might get thrown in there. And I like the way you pronounce it. Yes, you are a rock star. What can I say? But yeah, so um, I might throw these in as like those extra cards or those extra things, just the bonus things that you could get with your cards and stuff like that. The cards when we get there. So yeah, we'll have to see. We have to see. And the one terrible thing about gouache is you can't spit on it or anything like that because it will reactivate the paint. It's annoying. Like I was just spitting on it a little bit there, and I'm like, oh. Okay, you gotta get going. That's fine. I love you all. But yeah, so I'm not gonna repaint my tarot deck in gouache. I'm just gonna touch it up digitally and things like that. But it's given me some new arting perspectives for sure. It's been very amazing and very cool. Let's see who texted me real quick. Everybody loves me. uh, so those are just the kind of things I've been up to. I finished my 31 days of tarot prompts, I think, right for tonight, and I just kind of wanted to pop in and say, yeah, life is hard. Life has been hard, and it's not been treating me the best. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So, unfortunately, everyone, I might have to jump off here uh, too because I have to wake up early to go back to the hospital to do that voodoo I do so well, you know? I gotta be the rockin' mom of the year for Judith. Gotta be there for the little girl as she's going through some hard stuff. Hard times, hard times. And it's really nice to see everybody again. I really missed everybody, and I just want to do more with you guys. And it's kind of hard when you have sick children and things like that. So it's been hard. Pout, sigh. So yeah, unfortunately, gotta go here. I love you all, and you all be good, okay? And I'm trying to catch up on everybody's 31 days of tarot. It's been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible. So I'll see you all. Bye.